know we gotta drop the intro.
What you do this for?
Seconds, we down. What you gonna do? You already know. Rushing for three. We gonna let it go.
It's good. Knicks win. Bang. Yo, this a Knicks channel with a little Spurs too. What you expect family to do? And I've been told y'all what Castle was gonna do. Now we cover NFL boxing and some hip hop. Hit the notification so you can know when to drop.
It's your boy, man, HARDWI. Salute. We back in the building with another episode of For the Love of the Game. Make sure you remember the name. It's your boy with my co-host, Chris in the Stats. What's good with you, Chris? We back in the building with another episode. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
You know we excited. Knicks on the 4-game winning streak. We got to get You know, it's kind of hard out here for the Knicks. For real, like, you know, we win, we lose, win, we lose. So we get a little win streak. It feels good. You know, then Brunson was hurt. Is that my mic? I'm hearing a background noise. I don't know. Brunson was hurt. Oh, let me see. Let me check my noise. Give me a second.
Okay.
You might have to check yours, too. When you go in your settings, make sure make sure echo cancellation is not on.
Copy that.
Yeah, take that off, and you could put reduce mic background. Excuse us, y'all. Pardon us for a second.
Done.
Sound better too. All right, cool. So that's how you leave it all the time to help, because that be doing some funny sounds. So, but yeah, like I was saying, it's hard out here for the Knicks, even though we on the 4-game win streak. Brunson was hurt. You know, something with his neck. Maybe he's gonna get some rest, right? But what I did notice is, you know, reference to what we spoke about, other guys having to get minutes to give these guys a rest. Because you were saying, like, what can we do? Like, you know, I noticed Kolick was playing, and to be honest with you, I don't think it's just because Brunson was out, even though that gave them more minutes for them guys to play. But I think he kind of, I'm not going to say they watch and listen. They just seen it. Like, our guys is tired. We got to start getting ready for the playoffs and activate these other guys. Even I was watching the Spurs the other night, and they've been playing guys, even though they was playing the Kings and they was up by 40, 50 points. But still, they was playing guys that I haven't seen play in a long time. So teams are kind of preparing for a playoff run, a playoff push. So I was happy to see the Knicks playing Kolick. We're going to get into that Jordan Clarkson thing. I was happy to see them playing Kolick and the other guys that wasn't getting any run. And then to get a win without Brunson. Good game. That's part of my take on the game. I ain't going to talk too much on my first take. What you think about, what did you see in the game without Brunson and your players? Your players stepped up. Your boys stepped up. I ain't going front. They did. We needed them. What did you see?
Well, to me, honestly, I just saw like a systematic adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they really had to re-identify their offense,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really what it was. We had like more by committee offense, and the pace
Mm-hmm.
was increased, which was
Mm.
something that I was happy to see. The ball was just moving
Ball movement, right.
as opposed to, and I would be remiss if I didn't tell the truth. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times when Brunson is on the floor, he has the ball, and it's, to me at this point, and we saw it before in previous years, it's like we have to move the ball around. There's only one ball, like you always commonly say, and it's was good to see it move around, to see
Move.
other people.
Mm.
I was very impressed, honestly, and this might not even be,
You're right.
this
No,
might
you're
not
right.
even
I
be
agree.
something to anybody, but I was surprised to see Miles McBride because I heard Stephen A's like take on him a
Mm-hmm.
couple of days ago, and like it was some things that I did agree with, what he
Mm-hmm.
said about Miles, but he really did step up in the game, and he was making the shots and he did his thing. I was really happy
No,
overall
you
with
mean
the way.
Bridges, right? Not to cut you
I'm
off.
sorry,
You mean
Mikal Bridges. I'm
Because
sorry,
I was
not
like,
not
I was
McBride.
saying, man, if
I don't
McBride
know
played and I
why I
missed it,
get
I would have been
them.
so upset. No, that's okay. It happens. They got the same first name. But I was saying to myself, I did see him last night in street clothes, so he is coming back. But I just wanted to make sure I corrected because Stephen A was saying a lot about Bridges.
He was.
And I didn't really agree. I'm glad you brought that up because it's like it's hard to play for the Knicks with all that stuff going on. But go ahead, finish your take. We'll get into that because I'm glad you mentioned that. But go ahead, finish part of your take.
I really saw like a lot of faster decisions being made too, where it was
Mm-hmm.
just like before. And I'm not trying to put this all on Jalen, but I'm just saying that is associated with Jalen because of the simple fact that Jalen wasn't there. So it was just
Yeah.
like we have to make these decisions and we have to make them right now. So we saw plays by. I often say my guy Jose Alvarado, and shout out to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like you
He
said,
made
to
quick
your
plays
point,
like that.
he
He's gonna
does.
make the right play
He does. He makes the
to
right
push the
play.
ball up.
Yep, yep. And then, I would how can we not introduce Josh Hart? Like this is Josh Hart's record for New York Knicks, 33 points for him. And
Record in points or threes can made. Which one was it? I'm not sure. I'm
I
not.
bel
I'm just.
I, I believe I'm like
Okay.
99.9% sure that it was record in points overall while he was
In
with the New
points
York
as a
Knicks
Nick.
as a Knick.
Mm,
So I feel like,
okay.
he was rebounding a lot, like a power forward to me.
But you know what that means, Chris? Not to cut you, right? That just means that he could score. But you mentioned the ball bounces that Jalen Brunson uses, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And you know what came to mind when you said that? You know what's the hardest thing? And it's not really for Brunson, because Brunson don't have to worry about this. I don't think,
Okay.
personally. But you have some good players that sit out and the team do other things and win, and it opens eyes to the coaching staff. But Brunson played pretty well. Remember, he had 15. He had a lot of assists in consecutive games when he
He
wasn't
did.
shooting the ball very well. So that means he could adapt to doing this. I don't think he's the type of player that would say he'd rather get 30 points instead of the win. So let's just say if he get 22 points and kick the ball, he could change the morale. He could make guys actually play better with
And
that.
this is Brunson you're talking about, right?
Right. Because you saying that you want to see more ball movement with Brunson, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying that he did well when he wasn't shooting well, but we have to say it that way because he's not gonna always not shoot well. Our plan really is for him to go off instead of what you're asking for, more ball movement. I agree with what you're saying because if Josh Hart, only player is a little questionable right now is Bridges because he's letting all that talk get in his head.
Yeah.
But we got Towns, we got other weapons. I think it'll work. I just think it's basketball. And when you mention Alvarado, right, he's just
Mm-hmm.
making a play to assist you. That's why it's called an assist to help you score the basket. Okay, what that means is if the basket is here and I'm a point guard, so I would give you the ball here so you could just put it in, not have to reach over here, not have to reach up here. So these are things that, excuse me, Alvarado do as a point guard that's going to help the New York Knicks. And he may make a shot when he's open because, look, they're all NBA players. But last point I'm going to pass it right back, but I didn't want to forget that because on your take, you mentioned a couple things that lead us into another part of the conversation. Like Should they change Jalen Brunson's approach? I mean, we talked about that. What I mean by that is like, should he throw the defense off by moving the ball more instead of pounding the ball?
I wouldn't say to change it overall, but let's implement it to see what we can do. We know that it works. We know that it's a method
Do
that
we know it worked? Can we say off one game? No, I'm saying, can we? Is it fair to us to say off of one game?
right. I'm checking myself to see if that's an
Not,
accurate statement.
yeah, both of us. No, both of us. Because I agree with you, but I'm saying, do we need to see more of it? I'm sure, and he has to trust in them more. I think it's just preparing them for the playoffs.
It's that, and then it's also what you spoke to earlier for me, and I think that this is very, very important, especially being in a leadership role. It
Hmm.
changes the morale of the team. And I think that that's
Right.
very
More
important.
passion.
Will,
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I
yes,
agree.
it's very important. It empowers
Hmm.
other people to
I
understand
agree.
their roles, which was something that I
Yeah.
was banging very hard on.
Hmm.
I was just very, very impressed with seeing people protect the paint against Tyrese. I forget his name. His last name starts with an H, like Halliburton, I believe.
Yeah.
And
Tyrese Halliburton. Yep.
yes, I was really impressed to see them, put in that effort.
Hmm.
Hello, and I really think that the Knicks are gritty enough to do it. And when I say do it, meaning go
To
all the
win it all.
way.
Yeah.
But you know, are we stable enough without Brunson? That is a adventurous jump, so I will not say that.
Hmm.
But and I know I'm going far, but I just have to take my takes as I
No.
think of them. But
No, I get you. You watch
I
Stephen A. though.
no, I did,
You
I did. He makes me a
so that must
little.
have changed your mind a lot. It helped. It made you feel a little right.
It does, it does. He's a bit of a character, and I'm sure as I go on, I probably will become one as well. But um, so let's not do him too bad. But
Right.
um, and also I liked to see that there was some defense in the perimeter. Like, and it wasn't, they wasn't reinventing the wheel. It wasn't 100% changed, but it was
Hmm.
a change. Like, we have,
Maybe it
I
was because
keep,
of ball movement.
it clearly was because of that. Like, I keep saying, please guard the perimeter. And it's not like I didn't see, some mess ups last night or whatever. A game is a game. And there's so many
Yeah.
variables when you think about it. But I did
Hmm.
see more of it. And I'm like, okay, let's think about this right here
Hmm.
with what is going on now that Brunson is not there. So, and the
That's
Josh Hart,
crazy, right?
it is.
That's kind of crazy.
It is. And then,
But it's
like
it's
to
not a
talk,
myth though. Playing
it's not.
basketball, if you get a few more touches, you're gonna play harder.
Yeah.
Me and my bros we used to talk about that all the time. Like we joke about it, like get a big man some, drop it down to him, give him the pill a few times. He gonna get more rebounds. He gonna box out more. You know what I mean? Give the other guys on the wing the rock a few more times. They gonna stop people from getting by them. But it's just crazy how you could say it looks different just like that. And I don't think that's fair. Not saying what you saying. I'm saying if guys is doing that, I don't think. I think if you could do that, you should be able to speak up to your teammate and say, "Yo, you gotta move that rock." You know what I'm saying? You can't just
Yeah.
do nothing in your heart and not be giving 100% effort because you feel like you should have the ball. I don't agree with it to that extent. I feel like if you open, you should have the ball, right? So
Right.
this is the point of it all. Let's just make it make sense real quick. If Brunson is cooking, right? What
Hmm.
happens? He gets doubled most of the time. He get kick the ball, pass the ball, right? We still want Brunson to break down the D. Now, I think they said things like this in the NBA before. Less dribbles, they take away a couple dribbles from you. You know what I mean? Like get into your stuff a little earlier if ain't nothing there. Kick it move it because I think OG doing really well right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the point of us only having one basketball, like we always say, everybody can't do well. I mean, if they're not comfortable with playing good defense and rebounding, like we spoke about Towns, if he's not scoring, we just need you to do well in other areas on the court
Mm-hmm.
because it's a team sport, right? So if we think guys are slacking because they're getting less touches, then the effort is not really going to be there. That's really what we're saying in a nutshell. And I don't think that's right. I hope we not right on that one. Like, but we could be because we talk about what we see. We just saying what we see. How can he blow by you this night, and then it could be a team that's better. It's like it get weird, but then like you said, it's just a game too. You said that, so we can't be too critical of a game. We need more. We have to see more of it, and we haven't seen enough of that because they got new players on the team, right?
Mm-hmm.
We never saw those lineups. He did say Clarkson is taking Diarra's minutes. That's what the coach said moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that might be a good thing. But it's so much with the Knicks. I love being a Knicks fan. I love covering the Knicks because it's all going to be great at the end. It's all going to turn out to something good, even if it's not this year. I don't know. I don't know. Stephen A. don't I don't believe in what he say, but I just know he has some good points for once. I was like, no, he's right. Oh shit, no, 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 no. I was like, I don't want to agree with
Yeah.
this guy, but he has
Yeah.
some good points. But hold one thing before I pass it back to you, and I said a lot, so you should have a great take or something to say of what I said. Right? Look, didn't I tell you what Stephen A. said before he said it about Brunson and? Oh no, I mentioned it to you because I think I saw that before you. That he said no, it was mentioned prior, but you saw a new video that he did, and he talked about Bridges, and he just brought it up again. That's what happened. To be fair, because I saw it and I mentioned it to you, and I said, "Damn," he said Brunson don't know what he doing because he took a pay cut and then gave it to his man. Remember I
Right.
mentioned that to you?
Yes.
So that's
Uh-huh.
basically what he said in this new video too. He brought that up again because that's his main gripe. He's saying Brunson don't know the landscape of the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of disrespectful.
Very.
But that's what he did though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stephen A. just saying what it is. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. He's just saying what you did, bro. You can't get mad at the man for that. That's why I say I agree with Stephen A. So what you think? I just want to tell you that part because you saw the interview, and I know you was like,
To be honest, I didn't see so Stephen A is very polarizing to me.
mm-hmm.
In all fairness, I did not watch the entire video. Mm,
Turned it off.
I had to. It was because
Okay,
it's
okay.
kind of disheartening.
He
He did
hurt your
make good
feelings.
points. Yes, he
Mm-hmm.
and listen, one of these days, I, he won't be able to hurt my feelings, but
You think?
especially
Mm-hmm.
with what I saw, which was actually the next day, to see such a dynamic change, I was like, maybe he spoke a little bit out of turn, but he did not, from what I saw.
Oh,
But I
about that
just,
guy. About
yeah,
that guy. Okay, okay.
yes, he did not. He was correct. Um, I think for me, I'm just on a high that we were able to play and be successful without Brunson. I wanted to just bring up and I don't know how you're gonna feel with me bringing this up, but the joke that Josh made post game
Oh,
and what I think that it really meant, and maybe I am jumping way far into the river, but
nah, I want to hear it because I felt some way about it. I want to hear what you think, and I'll tell you what I think.
to me, to me, and I wish I could break down this mind that I have.
Mm-hmm.
I
No,
want to
you
go
you
into my
you
word
you
wizardry,
you
but
you don't have to break down you. They be entertained if you're gonna have a crazy take on it.
yes,
That's
I
all.
think
That's what
my
this is
take.
about. So
I think my
Kill
and
him.
I'm saying it for I'm saying it for the love of the game. Like this
Right.
is what I heard when he said, and I am not quoting, I am paraphrasing. He said something along the lines of, yeah, I was able to do well because Brunson didn't have the ball, something along those lines,
Mhm.
right? Or he wasn't hogging the
Mhm.
ball.
Yeah.
So I said, oh, that's how you feel? So to me, it translated into him saying, like, we know who Jalen Brunson is, we know the value that he brings
Mhm.
to the team. But as you can see, we can be successful without him. So we need you,
I don't know
but we
about that
really
one.
don't need you.
No way. I don't believe that. No. Whoa, whoa. Pump your brakes now.
That's what I think
You
that
know when
Josh had
you
said.
know when you need brakes, you gotta pump your brakes. Yeah, no, no, no.
No, no, no,
All
you.
right. No, this I'm gonna tell you what I agree with and what I don't agree with. To be fair, okay. He, I agree with the point of friends joke in a way where they could be serious, right? And it's sayings where they say like you can't really always work with your friends, and maybe they thought it was gonna be okay because they cool guys, they nice guys, they get along rather. But it go from one friend, two friend, three friends. You don't know if all the relationships is gonna be great, or one of them friends feel like they want the basketball more because you the man of the team. But I just feel like you shouldn't sign up for something and you already know what's going on. Like they've been playing behind this man since college, so don't get to the NBA now. And that's what I'm saying. He could say that in a joking way, but I would have to look at it and say, hold on, you know, what type of person is this, right? And then
Hmm.
say, nah. You know how you do that sometimes.
I
Somebody say
do.
something and you know their character, and you know who they are, or you know the relationship of the people, and you be
Yes,
like,
yes.
nah, that shit ain't about nothing. That's how I feel. Now to the other part about them being able to do something without him, no way. Mm-mm-mm.
I agree
We
with
would
that.
we would have to see, and I don't want to see this. I don't, because we're gonna be disappointed. Just to let you know, we're gonna be disappointed because the NBA is about to turn up, and I'm glad that they let him rest. Whatever his neck, whatever's wrong with him, let him rest because he gonna turn up. I can't speak for everybody else. I know a
Hmm.
couple other dudes may come to the party. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but he gonna turn up though. So see, it's a different animal. Maybe Bridges might wake up. This basketball. You could be having bad games. Next thing you know, you start cooking everything. He may come out in a playoff game and we need him to wake up. It's basketball. You always have to look at it like that. All we could do is when the playoffs come, we know now it's more serious basketball. Where we at? Where we at? You know what I'm saying? Like who we playing? What's the count? So we gotta win this series. You know what I mean? We gotta go series by series. And hopefully we get some luck. Cause the Knicks really don't have no luck. Like, you know, nobody we play against get hurt. And I ain't wishing no injuries on nobody. I'm just saying. A lot of teams
Hmm.
get luck and fall into winning a chip. It just go their way with calls. Think about it. A lot of teams get knocked out of the playoffs by buzzer beaters. You remember what's the name hit the half court shot and
Yeah,
sent them
yep.
boys home? You know,
Sure did. You right. You right.
so you don't know if they would have won the chip that year.
You're
You
right.
always got to look at it like that. You always won. That's why I say it's a ball. I always used to say this: you one ball bounce away. You could be one ball bounce away. So everything count, and that's why Stephen A. be critical like that, because he
Hmm.
knows if it's hard and we don't really, it look like we ain't gonna have a chance. But I don't really say we don't because you never know what could happen. Who could get on fire? Who could get hurt on the other side? Who we gotta face? You know what I mean? Luck could go on our side because it hasn't been on our side for so long. I believe in that shit. The heck's gonna come off soon. How long it's gonna be on for? Shit.
How long has it been on for? For like 30
Um,
years?
too long. That's what I'm saying. It's coming. We just gotta be prepared for it. I'm prepared. That's why my takes is in this realm, you know? And
Hmm.
I'm gonna make sure we don't feel that way too much because It's really no reason to. They got better, and that's all I expected. You know, you don't really see nobody just coming out winning a championship like that. You know what I mean? Shea Gilgeous was the best player for a while. He was running for MVP for a few years. You know, Chet homegrown top draft pick. Williams, they got a good team. So it wasn't like a big surprise for them guys. They was playing good before they won. The Knicks have to go far. Like Knicks have to go what Eastern Conference, like you know what I'm saying? They have to
Yes,
go far
yes,
for us to say,
yes.
oh, and then we might not win then. Then what?
Right.
Everybody gonna be crying. We gonna come up here with tears, boo-hooing. Yo, man, we was right there. I'm not doing that shit. No, I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm just gonna. I done lost so much. I'm Teflon. Whatever. Yo, we ain't ready yet. I'm going home. I see y'all tomorrow. We'll do a pod. Fuck it. What you gonna do? I think being a Knicks fan so long, it made us tough.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
we built for this. We could lose, whatever. Take it like a man. We've been losing. We used to losing. You see, on the road, we got more fans than anybody in the NBA. The Knicks be on the road, all you hear is, I was like, I see that shit in LA. I was like, yo, we really lit, son. This shit is crazy. We got
Could
the
it just
biggest team
be?
in the league. Yo, serious. I
Could
don't
it
know
just be
how all these
we
people,
we
where they
got people
been?
from New York that's over there? Because it's like I
Yeah,
don't
yeah, they
know,
moved. Yeah,
like,
we
but it's
migrated.
okay. Because just to play devil's advocate, so
Yeah,
since I have been a little bit more vocal with the way that I feel about the New York Knicks, I hear a lot of people telling me that I'm a GD fool, saying like, you stupid. Like you know that they're not going nowhere, Crescenda. You are putting your hopes up. You're getting emotional. And I'm like, you know what? It's not even that. Like I'm here for the ride. You know what I'm saying? Like I would rather
you
go
loyal.
for the ride than to not have the opportunity to do it at all and see them do nothing. So I do have to point out that there have been improvements and there have been better plays and there have been better structures. Could it be better? Yes, it can. We say this all the time. That's why we're here on this pod. But we say
Let
it
me give you some
for the
ammo for them.
love.
Let me give you some ammo for them. You know what you do when they tell you when they say something like that to you? You ask them
What?
what's their team. You ask them what's their team. And if
The
they live in
person's
New
team
York,
is the Lakers.
and they live in New York, and you live in
Yeah.
New York,
Yeah.
right? So I hope you going to Staples games. I hope you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I know
They
Laker fans.
they ain't.
That's you know what I'm saying. I know Laker fans that turn the Lakers because the Knicks were so bad, and I should be like, now look, now they mad because we really good, and the Lakers are trash now. Even though they on a little win streak right now, they know inside the Lakers, the Knicks are better than the Lakers. Even though
They
Lakers
are.
fans still don't want to admit it. For the past years, we have been better, and
We have.
they can't accept that right now, right? Okay, cool. So if you a Knicks fan, just imagine this. Cool. You from New York, you couldn't take being a Knicks fan. Brooklyn wasn't around. Cool. Or Brooklyn is, you still don't want to be a Brooklyn fan. So you go and be fan of another team in another state. You know how we got on talking about this? We was talking about how Knicks fans represent more than any team in every state when you watch them on
Hmm.
the road.
Hmm.
So how could you be that dude that's from New York and going to jack the Lakers? Oh man, you might as well say, yo, I'm a Knicks fan now. I wasn't supporting them when they was bad. I'd rather you do that than be a Laker fan. I would accept you in. I would say, come on, you just gotta sign these papers and get them notarized, but you could come in. We got the Nick work paperwork for you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have Nick paperwork for these people. They Brooklyn Nets fans, Laker fans. Y'all ain't coming to the parade. If I know you was a Laker fan and we see you at the parade, we putting the beats on you. So I'm gonna be with my people. Yo, son, someone's with the Lakers. Get them. Get them. I make security pound you out. For real. I make my
Listen,
security pound you out.
since we're
And
on
I don't
this
like that.
one,
I don't
I
like
just
that.
want to tell you to the person, because I know that you're watching, to the
Oh, don't say
person
they
that
watching.
said that.
Nah, we
No,
ain't
no,
talking about
no.
them. We ain't gonna
No,
do nothing to them. I know
I'm
some
not
Laker
gonna do
fans
nothing
like
to
that.
you. I ain't gonna do. But listen, you see what I'm saying, right?
You got
And
people
you
watching you,
see,
Chris Cinder? Stats.
I'm loyal. I'm
You
loyal, and
famous.
listen, I'm not. I'm just a small fish in a big pond. But
That's just
that's
applause for
weird,
if
bro. For
that's
you
dope.
to go to the Lakers, we not jacking it. Like
We
nobody,
not.
we're not.
But whoever
I
I know a few people like that though, to be fair. I know
and like
but
really
see
be
look,
ragging on us.
no look, this how we gonna be fair. we understand, but this how we be fair to them. We just more loyal than you guys are. That
Yeah.
clearly explains that. Cool. You couldn't take losing, right? Fine. We can't tell nobody to support a losing team. I never was that guy. But I tell you this, huh, don't try to sneak through that back door at this parade. I bet you that. Huh. Y'all know who y'all is. Y'all gonna be the mad ones. That's why they praying on the downfall. Why you supporting them? As you see us creeping up, creeping up, creeping up. They dreading the years coming. They like, damn. Can I come back? Y'all got to ask, all of us, y'all gonna have to ask 1,000 Knicks fans, could you come back? And get your papers notarized. Yeah. Shit real out here. All right, we moving right along. We moving right along. Did we finish on the Knicks? Yeah, we went 30
Yeah.
minutes. We only going
Yeah.
hold on, let me see. When we play again. Let me look at it real quick.
Friday.
You know what we play?
I
Uh-oh,
do.
uh-oh, uh-oh. We play
What?
Brooklyn. I beat you to it. We play Brooklyn. At
Boo.
7:30. We play Brooklyn at 7:30. Okay, but this is what I wanted
We
to talk
do.
about before we
7:30.
before we switch the subject, right? I wanted to talk
Mhm.
about the standing. I wanted to talk about the standings. Okay.
Mhm.
And we're not
Okay.
really gonna get too much into the standings. We just gonna read them and let the people know how it's looking that don't know how it's looking in the standings. Okay.
Okay.
Eastern
Okay.
Conference standings right now. The Pistons. I'm gonna let you do the West. I'm gonna do the East. When you're
Okay.
looking at it, you go all the way down and you're gonna see it change. It's
Okay.
in the
Copy
West,
that.
yeah. Facts. You're gonna see it start with the orange, the OKC. All right. Detroit Pistons is 49-19 right now in first place. The Celtics is holding down that second seed, but the Knicks is crawling up in third with 45-25. The Celtics is 46-23. The Cavs is in fourth place with 42-27. The Raptors is right behind in fifth with 39-29 wins. Behind the Raptors, you got the Magic, 38-30. Seventh place, you got the Heat, 38-31. Eighth place, you got the Hawks, 38-31, same record as the Heat. Ninth place, you got the Sixers, 37-32. 10th place, you got the Hornets, 35-34. 11th place, you got the Bucks, 12th. I'm not even going to tell you the numbers for these teams. I'm just going to read the rest of the East. Bucks, Bulls, Brooklyn, and the Wizards in 14th, and the Pacers is in the final spot in 15th. Now, when you look at the last teams in the bottom, some of these teams like Charlotte, uh, the Hawks, Giannis is out. I don't know about them. The Heat, the Heat might. The playing teams, you never know what they could do. Even though with the Sixers, Maxey is hurt right now, so you don't know. I don't think the Sixers going to do anything, but the Heat is always a team you got to watch out for. The Hawks as well. The Hawks is playing really good ball right now, and the Hornets was playing really good ball right now. Even though they're in 10th, I think the Hornets going to move up, and whoever faced the Hornets in the first round, it's going to be a real, real, real good series. Let's get ready for the playoffs. All right, and we going into the West. Chris, stats. What's
All
in the stats? You read.
right.
You read the West.
All right. So we got the OKC Thunder with 55 and 15. Then we have the Spurs at 51 and 18. We have the LA Lakers coming in third with 43 and 25. Houston is directly after them with 41 and 26. Then we have the Denver Nuggets at number 5 with 42 and 27. And number 6, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves at 42 and 27. So they're really right along with the Nuggets. Then we have the Phoenix Suns coming in at 7th with 39 and 30. LA Clippers 34-34. The Warriors 33 and 36.
6.
Let's see. Then we got the Portland Trailblazers in 10th with 34 and 36. The
36.
Grizzlies
11.
in 11th place, 23 and 44. The Pelicans, 23 and 46. And then I'll just name the rest: Dallas Mavericks, Utah Jazz, and Sacramento Kings.
And the Kings. And with the West, right? Same thing. It's gonna be like the Clippers, for instance. The same thing. They playing good basketball right now.
Hmm.
I seen something that they said the Warriors with Curry's trying to make a comeback. So a lot of teams turn it up in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Houston played Denver tonight. I don't know. I'm not sure. Matter of fact, let me look and see who won that game real
Look
quick.
and see.
That's gonna be a good. Oh, they ain't, no, my bad. Houston is playing the Lakers tonight,
Yeah, the
and
Lakers
Houston is up by three,
is
but they was
winning.
losing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Mm. And shout out to the Lakers though. They is on a winning streak. You know what I mean?
They
I ain't
were.
going front.
They were.
They is on a winning streak. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna see what they gonna do. Like the playoffs is gonna be real exciting this season. I could tell. You know, I'm excited for these season of playoffs. I can't wait. But one thing else I want to say is I'm not gonna talk about the Hawks. The Hawks had this. What was it called again? The
Hmm.
Hawks had that little shindig where they was gonna have a. I'm not gonna call it a stripper party.
Oh, the Magic City.
The Magic City theme the Hawks
Mhm.
had.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna talk about that briefly. And I feel like I'm glad they didn't have it. I want the Hawks. I think they got some good players over there, and I don't think they should be doing things like that as far as the gimmicky stuff because they've been doing that stuff for so long. And I'm glad that shout out Luke Cornett. You know, I don't even know how them guys got wind of it. Or they know, of course they're gonna know about it, but shout out Luke Cornett, Al Horford, the guys who stood behind it and was like, nah, we not for that. But I understand the Hawks and Georgia with their culture, how they look at the strip club scene, and you know they had Wings and they had Ludacris and Ti. They had a whole. I understand them, but things die out, and I don't think that the NBA should have even been thinking about mixing that in because they too strict on the players itself. But then they want to allow bring things in. You know, I don't think.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they stopped it. You know what I'm saying? And then in reference to um what happened with the player in college. We're gonna segue into that because it's like the same thing. In the NBA, they know guys smoke marijuana,
Mhm.
which I don't co-sign it. I don't tell no player that he should smoke marijuana. You know what I mean? A lot of players probably use marijuana for other reasons they say or whatever the case may be. I don't really condone that. I'll tell no players, yo, do what you do. Nah, 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 nah. These guys out here is playing good basketball because they don't use marijuana. So if you want to succeed and you want to, make the team and get paid to play, I just think that you should stay away from all that stuff. And the reason why I went and talked about the Atlanta situation because they was kind of condoning it, and the kid that got in trouble in college from Alabama, he's actually from Atlanta. His name is Aiden Holloway. Very good basketball player. And I feel like it's unfortunate for a kid that probably was going to the NBA in this next draft because when it depends on what you do in March Madness and the NBA scouts scout and then you could be on the draft board. So it's unfortunate, and I only want to talk about it to say, young guys, don't throw away your future. Don't for little money now and little fun now. You could have real money and real fun and take care of your family later. And I don't think son gonna be messed up like that behind it. And I don't want to say it's only weed because that could really slow him down from where he was headed. I think he'll come back, but you guys don't want that halt and to slow down your career, off of marijuana. You know what I mean? So unfortunately for him, I'm not gonna say too much about it. I'm gonna let you give your take, Chris. I just wanted to put my prayers in for him. You know, it's unfortunate, but we have to talk about it so other kids could be aware. They're gonna see it off the shorts. They're gonna see it, however, and they can hear the message like, "Don't blow your bag away for a bag of weed, because you're getting paid NIL hundreds of $1,000s. Like, why would you want to do that?
Mhm.
Like, I'm saying, if you smoke, be smart. Don't buy a lot of it because then now they're gonna think that you're not just smoking. I know guys probably do because they don't want to keep going out. Whatever your
Mhm.
excuse is,
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
don't get caught with that type of amount. You don't need to have that type of amount, right, Chris? What you think about it? I know you said it was sad. I know it's sad.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I think about the young lady, Shakari Richardson. how a
Yeah.
track runner, as we all know, and this was
Hmm.
back in probably like, I want to say 2023, where she was on that impeccable run where she was just unstoppable, but she was very arrogant. And that was something that we was trying to give her a lot of grace with it, because it was like she was from the neighborhood, she went through a lot of adversity. She had just lost her mother. She was coming off the cusp
Hmm.
of a lot of tragedy. So
Yeah.
it was understandable for her to do what allegedly they said that she did, but look at what it cost her. Um, in retrospect, now looking at it, it
Hmm.
was good that it happened to her, because now we see a brand new, different Shikari. She was humbled.
Mm.
She had to understand that now you're a professional. You behave as one.
Right.
Sure, can do you want to have a smoke here or there? Sure. But now you've
Hmm.
chosen this as your profession, and you need to understand that you need to show up as such. I am
Right.
100% certain that that year she was projected to go to the Olympics, and they stripped her of the opportunity, and
Hmm.
she had to wait 4 more years in order to qualify. So I
Damn.
say that to say that with this gentleman, like you said, Will, I don't think that a basketball player should be indulging in marijuana. Now, there's reasons why people do certain things. There's medicinal marijuana. There's so many different, reasons why a person would want to use that or would need to use it.
Right.
But in a
Hmm.
situation where that gentleman is in right now, just the amount that we're talking about, and we were diplomatic enough not to mention it, but if you
Right.
read the article, you will know that it was
Hmm.
an excessive amount.
Hmm.
It puts across a thought about you, where what are you doing with it? Why do you need such excessive amounts of it? You start making people think things that may not be true about you. And
Right.
like you said, it's not necessary. It's not.
Right.
The amount that you had, it's not necessary. You needed what you needed. And we understand you probably don't want to go to the block, whatever, however it is that you're receiving what you're receiving. But there's a
Hmm.
certain way to do things. When you're a professional, you need to act as one, plain and simple. We have enough
I agree.
examples in sports overall where we've seen people fumble up their careers over dumb things like this. And it's very, very sad. I'm also going to be praying for him too, because what I wanted to say was that, do you think that he missed this opportunity? Like, I would hope that, this situation could be cleared up, because, it's not, marijuana does not hold the weight that it used to. It's not frowned upon the way that it used to
Well,
be. But
I
I
don't
mean, the
know, cause
reputation, that it attaches to you may not. I mean, we saw what happened to Shakari. We don't really talk about Shakari in that light anymore, because she's kind of she not kind of, she transcended it, and she
she
made it work for
learned
her. She did.
when she made the
And
mistake
she
already.
humbled
So
herself.
right. So like with this kid, right? We gotta wait and see. Like
Yeah.
it's funny you said that because I was just about to say I didn't want to cut you. I was gonna say though that, and it's funny because other kids that do the same thing won't learn from other kids' mistakes. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like they'll continue like as if this just didn't happen to him, like it can't happen to them.
Excuse
And I read the story, and he got caught on campus first, so they basically had an eye on you now, and then they hit your room. So you said you mentioned you're not sure what's gonna happen. You hopefully it don't mess up his career, right? And I mentioned earlier that I think it's gonna halt and slow his career down
me.
because
Hmm.
when I read the article, it did mention something about he was point something away from it being even more than like, and then it was like in that place he's facing 10 years. Even
Wow, I
though
didn't
when they
know.
write that stuff up, that stuff is really not gonna stick like that. You know what I'm saying? They say that, but it's not. But for them to even say that, sometimes when you hear a number like that, you're like, man, is this a certain area where it's not really like legal like it is in
Hmm.
New York or in certain places, because you still have places where it's not legal like that, and especially on campus. You know what I mean? They these
Hmm.
are campuses, so they have special rules and campus police, and so that's where the law changes. You know, they I don't know if they send you to the police and let them charge you or they charge you, but I know in certain places the campus police, you know what I mean? They got their own rules and it get
Yeah, just to
tricky.
speak to what you're saying. So, my daughter went to school in SUNY, so she went upstate, and her best friend went to SUNY as well.
Hmm.
I know my daughter smokes weed. Her best
Hmm.
friend does as well. They were in two separate campuses.
Hmm.
Literally, my daughter's best friend was not privy to the fact that there were there were means to find out what you were doing in your rooms, whether it be cameras, whether it be smoke detectors, whatever. She was unaware of that, and she was just less than smart for her behavior. Let me tell you how swiftly they got on her to get her out, to make an example out of her.
The campus
And this
police.
is, the campus police came
Yeah.
and gave her one warning and said, "We're aware that you're doing X, Y, and Z. You
Yeah.
and your
Roommate.
dormitory
Yeah.
roommate, we know that you're doing it. Stop it. Get rid of it. We're giving you a chance." The next time, there was no warning, there was no write up, there was no nothing. What it was them coming into the room, escorting her out, just like how you would be if you were being evicted. Your stuff is coming out. I warned you the one time. You're out. I don't
Mm.
care what your academics are looking like. I don't care about anything. I told you. I
So
gave
they
you the
still
warning.
blew it. So they still blew it down
They still
after the
blew it
police.
down.
Hold on, let me give a round of applause for the kids. They gangsters. No, the kids is gangsters, man. I hate to clap for that, but shit. All right, we risk it all. But we would have did the same. I would have did the same shit. It's sad, but it's funny. But hey, you know, all they all smoke weed, but at least they didn't have a pound in there, Chris.
You got me
Just
there.
no, I'm saying they only had a, you know, what's their charge. I'm just saying that was our point when we was talking about the other situation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, if he have a little bit where it's just enough, then they're like, what they gonna do to him?
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Maybe they could sweep that under the rug, but we can't sweep that much under the rug. And then
This is
these kids be
copious
having,
amounts.
yeah, these kids be having pull where the coaches would be talk to the campus police and say,
Mhm.
you know, yo, nah, no, 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 let yo chill, chill, man, put, you know what I mean? But not like that, you know what I
Ain't
mean?
no
They, you
chill
know,
with this
they
situation.
can't. And then, like I said, you getting $100,000 to play basketball. You know what I mean? I don't even think any kid that would be getting that amount of money to play a sport, whatever sport it is in school, would be risking that. See, we would have to factor that in for a kid just in school because kids smoke now. Weed is legal. Let's be real. It's not, and they're grown. They're in college, right? You know, it go on, but they just can't. They get caught. You know, smoke detectors, but they smoke. But when you playing a sport and you getting an NIL, you should not be blowing your money like that because they're not gonna give you an NIL again. Then what if you don't go professional in the sport that you was playing because of the bad press that you gonna get? So my advice to you young kids, young guys rather, and gals, if you could get some money in this game, get the money and stay out the way. Don't make yourself or be discreet because everybody want to be out front. So the new fly should be being discreet about it. It shouldn't be cute to show that type of stuff. If you always hit it, always hide it. Just because it's legal, you don't have to show people your business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
You read
smoke. I
my
could be up here
mind.
right now blowing one, but you're never gonna see me. Certain things, you know what I mean? And I'm not ashamed of it. That's why I could say it. You know what I mean? But you're never gonna see me like that. That's certain things you don't have to do in front of the public, in front of people. It don't work like that. Most thing you'll see us people do in public like that is have a drink, socialize like that. That's it. That smoking thing, you keep it personal. It's your personal business, and then you never know what opportunity is there, and they may judge you because you're smoking, and they think you want to smoke more than do your work. And I'm a smoker telling you that. I just don't care if you judge me because I don't. You know what I mean? I'm a boss anyway. You can't judge a boss. But for you guys that's trying to get somewhere, don't do it. Don't care that it's legal and all that. And we ain't gonna drag this on too long. Like I said, I ain't want to talk about too long. I'm praying for my boy Aiden. You know what I'm saying? I know they need him, but and that's my last take on it, Chris.
I just want to say one thing, just as
Sure.
a female.
I'm sorry I was talking so long, but go ahead.
No, you are valid. Everything that you said was valid, but I just wanted to give a female perspective.
Yeah.
I don't, I can't speak for all females and I can't speak for all young women, but I know that I was a peculiar lass. And I know for me in
Mhm.
college, I never liked an ostentatious man. Um, I remember there was a gentleman that was on me. He was a boxer, right? And this
Mhm.
gentleman was literally in high school with security. And he used to follow me around and he would say, I'm going to marry you. You're going to be my wife. And I was just like so disenchanted by him because he had
Mhm.
enchantment around him. The man was wearing diamonds, he was wearing Fendi from
Yeah.
head to toe. We were 16, 15 years old, maybe
Yeah.
even younger, because this is when I first started high school.
Mhm.
Gold teeth with diamonds, all of that. Nobody, some women, the women that you probably would want to be serious with. And I'm not saying that to pat myself on the shoulder, but
Mhm.
in a way I am because I am not like that. I like to
Right.
have my own things.
Yeah.
It doesn't really profit you to do that in either way, whether women like it or not, because it's a farce. It's a look, it's a perception, it's something
Right.
that people are looking at and they're making a thought on who you are based on what you have. Imagine how that would make a person feel when you strip them of everything. So, what I would say in the case of Aiden,
Like, would you want people like that, right? Like,
right,
yeah.
like, what are you doing it for? Like, I mean, okay, we know that you want to get high, but to have it in excess, are you sharing it with your friends? Like, that's something that you really need to be thinking about, the company that you're keeping, why are you doing, what's motivating you, all of this. But from a woman's perspective, which is where I started, nobody
Yeah.
likes that. Women don't particularly like that because it's like, we're looking at you, we see the potential that you have, the numbers that you mentioned earlier, Will. It just looks foolish, and the people that you have around you, shame on them. Somebody should have told you, like, listen, this is not a good look, you can hurt your career. So I really hate the situation. The second what you said, it's
Mhm.
terrible, and I'm going to pray for that young man.
Right. Nah, that's all we could do. And I'm gonna just say this now that you said that. I think in reference to the people around, I don't think like now you got to think like even when you mention and I respect you for even saying what you said about your kid. That's why I just mentioned that I like about me because it's like you know what I mean. This is what we do. We not ashamed or nothing like that, right? But at the same time, kids are gonna do what they want to do. So say like if we around a player, like I got players I train, I know I'm around. If they do that, what am I gonna like? What am I gonna? They're gonna do it on their own time.
They
I'm just
will.
saying, you want them to be, you want them to say, yo, if you're gonna do that, be safe or whatever the case may be. But now you can't really tell these kids in college what to do. They getting hundreds of thousands of dollars to play a sport, and I'm saying, I don't think he was doing the other thing that they insinuating, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Me and you figured it out right here that guys like to purchase too much so they don't have to purchase it anymore. I know people like that. That don't mean they're gonna distribute. They may give it to their friends because they got money like that, or they may just want it. But when we come from our culture, that stuff we'll understand, not the people or the world that you trying to enter.
Mhm.
They ain't trying to hear none of that shit I'm talking about right now. I'm just explaining what it really is in our culture. But when you're trying to leave that stuff behind, unfortunately, you have to leave those things behind with it. Some of the people and the bad habits that you have. And for the kids that it's hard for you for, I understand that. But it's called sacrifice. If you really down bad and you want to get your moms out and you want to get yourself together, sometimes you got to take a step back and quit for a while, get rich, and if that's something you really want to do, then down the line you could revisit that and you'll feel more like a man because you basically got your moms out the hood, you took care of yourself, And then that's probably why when you deserve a puff, because you a man and you took care of your business, and then nothing like that won't happen to you. So I think for the police that running up on you like that, that's kind of like karma. Like it's like saying, "Don't you bugging, geez, like you about to get they about to give you like 6 million, maybe I think 7 million, your first rookie contract, and then whatever endorsements you may get, and then you just got what a few 100,000 from college already." So it's like that's the part that I feel like makes it worse. Where that's why I said we can't judge the kids that's just in college and they don't even have that much. You know what I'm saying? It's the kids who got something to lose is getting caught with a lot, which is confusing. To where, like I said, they would just sweep that little stuff under the rug if it wasn't a lot there. And we turning this into a nice that's what I'm saying. Once we start talking about something, we'll dissect it. Somebody they better not hope we don't talk bad about nobody. We got 5 minutes. They don't want us as ops because we be talking nice and we still because we just stating the facts. You know what I'm saying? But if we get any ops, I feel sorry. I feel sorry. We gonna dissect. But if you got
Listen,
something to
guys,
say on that, you could. We got 5 minutes.
what Will is saying is that we are a very diplomatic pair and we
Right.
like being in this chair. We like uplifting and we like talking about the
Right.
pros and cons. But we would actually hate for you to be on the opposing side of us. And,
Word. Or blowing
because
your money or messing up your own bag too. We don't want you to do that.
we don't.
Do the
We
right
don't.
thing. We just telling you chill out
That's it.
for the love
We
of the game.
know, right? We telling you that the bridge is out. What we kind of like OGs at this point.
Right.
What type of person that knows the game, and I'll speak for myself. Will is way more advanced than I am, but I'll speak for myself with my life experiences that I
Oh, you
have
know the
had.
game.
I would be not a nice person if I didn't tell you something that I could foresee, that I have foresight on, and let you
Hmm.
just drown. We're not doing that. That's not what we're doing.
Right.
But
Right.
shout out to whoever feels a way about that.
Right. And shout out to everybody that watched this that didn't
Yes,
write in the
yes.
comment section. It's okay. You know what I mean? It's fine. You don't have to. If you want to watch the rewatch gang, you want to holler at me, salute. You know what I mean? Write something in the comment section. We'll get back to you. We will be back on soon, very shortly. More content. You know. Was a great show, and I just oh yeah, I got one more day of Ramadan. You already know. I don't
You
really be
need to give
talking about
yourself a
that on
round of
here.
applause for
I
that.
don't really be talking about that on here. So that's the only time I mentioned it. Only because it's the I got one more day.
You're not gonna give the applause? Okay.
Shout out for that. It wasn't easy. My first one, I did it. And on Friday, we're gonna have a feast. It's gonna be beautiful. So we up out of here. It was a great show. Um, hopefully the Knicks should win. They should beat Brooklyn. That should be, you know what I mean? I don't care. We could start the bench and beat Brooklyn. So we be all right. Um, and that's about it. Chris Stats, you got anything else before we get up out of here? You want to tell them? Tell them where your IG is at. You know, they may not know. Tell them where to find you. You know what I'm saying? You got the
True.
Instagram, Chris
True,
Stats
true, true.
underscore, right? That's it. What
True.
is it? Yeah.
So I
Chris
want to let
underscore
you
Stats.
guys, yes, I want to let you guys know real quick, 2 minutes. My name is Chris in the stats. My name is
Mm,
Crescenda, but the reason it's a double play on the words. Chris in the stats. So it's
mm,
Crescenda underscore stats on
mm,
IG. I have another presence on a different forum, which is Facebook. We're looking into TikTok right now. IG is doing relatively well. I'm actually very proud that the people are coming in and supporting me. This is a new realm for me. But to Will's point, it's Chris in the stats, aka Chrisinda underscore stats, on here, and like I said, on Facebook and IG. And if you've made it this far, can you please subscribe and like
facts.
and throw on the
Facts.
Make us know.
notification bell
Facts.
to know, like, if you dig our content, we're just getting started. We are working, we're going to be great. We have such a good chemistry between us. And I really look forward to what we can do.
Let them niggas
I'm
know,
fine.
man.
All of them. You got Queens get the money. All that.
Hey yo, Queens get the money.
Come on, let me get back in my bag on the applause and the sounds and shit. But we got 1 minute. Oh, we out of here. Chris, you finish?
Yeah, I'm finished.
You
Thank you guys
finished?
so much for tuning in. Yes.
You know you got to do this. All right, we
Gotta
out
do
of
it.
here. Peace.
Peace.